What's up, everybody? Normally, I sit in here and I wait a while for people to jump in and join, but today it's going to be a relatively quick one because I'm just taking a break. So I'm just giving y'all a quick one. So I'm probably going to wait in here for a couple of minutes just for some people to come in, but mostly if you don't see it right now, you can catch it on the replay. I'm just in the habit of doing things live now. I kind of like doing them live, uncut. It's easier for me, no editing, and you guys can just get the unfiltered, off the cuff type of answers from me. What's going on for everyone who just jumped in? I was just saying this is going to be a quick little talk. I'm going to start in the next couple of minutes. I usually wait longer, but this time I'm going to wait a couple of minutes and then I'm just going to get into it. So, this is going to be a talk about motivation. What is it? What happens when you lose it? How do you get it back? I will say I'm not some motivation expert. I'm just going to be saying exactly what I do and say in my field, which is telling you a little bit about my experience, what has worked for me, and how I got from point A to point B. Some people might relate to that and some people might not, but hopefully somebody can take something from this. So the place where I wanted to start is asking what motivation is in the first place, right? So I got a couple of definitions here. The reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. Okay? Such as it says escape can be a strong motivation for travel. That's an example that it has here. Another one says the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. Keep staff up to date and maintain interest and motivation. That's an example. A couple more definitions that I found. Motivation is the process that initiates, guides, and maintains goal-oriented behavior. It is what helps you lose extra weight, for instance, or pushes you to get that promotion at work. In short, motivation causes you to act in a way that gets you closer to your goals. One more that I found here says motivation is the reason for which humans and other animals initiate, continue, or terminate behavior at a given time. Motivational states are commonly understood as forces acting within the agent that create a disposition to engage in goal-oriented behavior. Now, something I found about all those definitions is they're all fine and good, but they tend to be a little bit vague in my opinion. But that's because motivation is different things to different people. What motivates me might not motivate you, but I can tell you some general tools that helped me. Something that when I started this particular page, since this page is relatively new, a lot of people have seen me in a time of higher motivation, I guess you could say. So they haven't really seen the other times. So I'm going to show you some of those other times. And some people who are on my other post, my other live post that was like a story about myself have seen some of this before. But for those who haven't, at this point in time, I wasn't even motivated to get out of bed. And this went on for months. In this same year, I had a really terrible car accident, totaled my car in that same year while I was trying to get it together. I was here, but I was not here. I was like, I don't really want to be here. I don't know what's the point of waking up day after day feeling this way. It was a terrible time. How did I find the motivation? I'll tell you, at that point in time, the way that I found the motivation was getting sick of feeling the way that I was feeling. And I'll say that again. The way that I found the motivation from there was because I was sick of feeling the way that I was feeling. And I said, if I'm going to be here, living, present, and on this earth, I don't want to spend the rest of the time crying, laying in bed, not going anywhere, not enjoying my life, not feeling happy, not doing any of the things that I like to do. I can't live like this anymore. So that was my motivation at that time. Hitting a rock bottom and wanting to feel something else. I think people confuse motivation with something that you just spring out of bed with. Now I have the motivation, so I'm just going to pop up out of bed. No. Before you feel good or excited about what you're committing to, you have to commit to it first. And committing to it means there will be a lot of days where you're going to be questioning yourself, asking, what's the point? I don't feel any better. And the easiest way for me to give an analogy to convey that is weight loss or some kind of fitness goal. It doesn't have to be weight loss, it could be any kind of fitness goal. When you make a goal in fitness, but especially when the goal is weight loss, that's why I'm using that, because it resonates with me. If you're at this point that you've gotten to after months or years of not being active, not being physically active, and not eating well and everything like that, you can say, oh yeah, I want to really get myself in shape, right? And then you can go out, you can buy yourself some fitness gear, you could get a gym membership at a fancy gym. Um, it could be fun and exciting the first day or the first couple of days, the first week, you're taking your videos, you're happy that you're making a decision to change your life. But then you actually get into the work part of it. And when you start to do the work, you're like, this is hard. It's hard for me not to eat this thing that I was eating before. It's hard for me to go into this fitness class, let's say, and I'm running around and I feel like I can't breathe because I haven't been active in a while. And then the fun part stops and the motivation, as defined, the motivation can stop. So for me, I think that you have to think more about your why than expecting this magical motivation to just suddenly appear in your life and just get you where you want to go. You have to think strongly about the why. Why am I doing this? What do I want to gain out of this? So in that case, if it was fitness, it could be, I want to fit into these clothes that haven't fit in years. I want to have more energy. I want to feel better about my body image. So you have to make some kind of a schedule. Think about what you want to get out of it. Commit to that schedule. And be willing to know and understand that there will be many, many days that you will go through and ask yourself, why am I doing this? I don't feel good. I don't feel happy. I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere with it, right? But you keep going and you keep pushing. And I feel like once the progress starts to come towards what you're trying to do, one day it clicks. Everything comes together and you're like, this is the reason why. This is the reason why. I would sit there and argue that the person that I'm showing you in these pictures, the life that he had, the life that this guy had, in terms of the external variables, is not that much different from the person who's sitting here in this chair. Maybe things have improved a little bit. I got like little bit of a better job situation, but I'm not rich. External variables have not changed that much. It was all here. this is what changed, and this is what changed. So for me, I realized that this basement that I was staying in, figuratively, I couldn't stay there anymore. I couldn't live my life in that kind of way anymore. It had to change. And when I started doing the self work that it took to get me to where I am now, I had many times where I was questioning myself. I don't feel motivated. Why am I doing this? I feel like I'm just going through the motions. But I was putting myself in the places that I needed to be and doing the things I needed to do to get to where I needed to get to. And as time went by, it was like act as if. Act like you're the person that you want to see yourself as in the future. Put yourself in the places that you need to be to get yourself to that point. And eventually, your mind starts shifting and your mind starts shifting. And then you get to a point where you're kind of there or you're almost there and you're like, wow, I didn't even realize that all this time going through all these days when I didn't feel like anything was happening and when I didn't feel like I was going anywhere, I was actually going somewhere and now I'm here. So that was just my little speech about motivation. And then I wanted to say about now. Now I'm in a time period where I still experience depression. I still experience high anxiety and I still experience many days when I don't want to get up and go through my routine and go to work and go to my gym and do all the different things that I'm doing. Many days I feel like that. But my purpose is so strong that I feel like nothing can stop me. There's things that can temporarily sit me down for a little bit, but nothing is going to stop me because I'm strongly driven towards my purpose, and all these things that I'm doing are required for me to get there. So, in closing, I just want to say if anyone is at a point, a low point, a point where they're very depressed, very unmotivated, sad, feel like giving up, please don't give up. Hang in there. Hang in there another day, another minute, another hour. Things can get better. Figure out a game plan. All the pieces you need to put on the board. What would ideally the life you want to live look like? Figure out how to get there and figure out small incremental steps of things you need to do to get to that point. Don't expect that just figuring out what you have to do is going to change your mind frame right just like that. But know that it can change over time. Add in something small, subtract something negative, a little piece at a time, and you'll get there. And that's it. I hope all of you have a great day. And for those who are tuning in, thanks very much for listening. And those who are catching it on the replay, leave a comment, leave a like, and have a good one.